नाराए तकबीर पाकिस्तान
पाकिस्तान का सब्ज हिलाली परचम थामे ये बावकार दस्ता जिसकी क़यादत मेजर तैयब दस्तगीर कर रहे हैं, मार्च करते हुए
So what was happening in India at the time was that in 1935 the Raj had introduced a constitution which was called the India Act of 1935, which granted far greater autonomy in terms of self-rule to the locals than had ever been sort of given before. It envisaged a central government which would be run by the locals. This central aspect was never actually put into, it was never implemented. It also envisaged responsible provincial governments and full provincial assemblies which would be directly elected. And so the chief minister of every province would be a local, even though the governor of the province would remain a British official. So this was sort of the India Act of 1935 was then implemented in 1937 when the elections were held. And the election result of 1937 is particularly important because the Congress won a majority of the provinces. At the provincial level, it won 7 out of 11 provinces. And the only provinces where the Congress didn't win were the Muslim majority provinces. And the interesting thing about the election result of 1937 is that the 4 Muslim majority provinces where the Congress didn't win, which is Bengal, Punjab, Sindh and NWFP, no one single party won in those provinces either. Each one of them had a provincial party which won the elections. But the election result of 1937 created anxiety in the minds of British Muslims, the Muslims of British India, as to what the composition of the central government would be like if the central government was ever constructed. It would be dominated by the Congress, and how the Congress would then treat the Muslim minority of India. So in 1939, Sikandar decided to come up with his own sort of federal solution and sort of an alternative to the federal aspect of the India Act of 1935. And his scheme was actually quite interesting, and an altered version of it was then later on sort of seen in the Cabinet Mission Plan of 1946. Even though the Cabinet Mission Plan doesn't actually make a reference to Sikandar's scheme, but the parallels are quite obvious. So what the scheme basically envisaged was that British India would be carved into 7 parts, 7 zones. He called them regions or zones. The 7th zone, which is relevant to us, was NWFP Punjab, Balochistan, Sindh and Kashmir, and some of the associated states, jo Punjab ke associated states the. The fact that he is sort of bunching the Muslim majority areas into zones and then giving more autonomy and more power to the zonal level and then the unit level rather than the central level shows that he is wary of sort of possible Congress domination. Sikandar submitted a version of his scheme to the British, and the British didn't really take much notice. At the same time, he submitted a version of his scheme to a very similar version of the scheme to the Working Committee of the Muslim League. And the Working Committee of the Muslim League sort of changed it a little bit. And this is essentially the scheme that was presented in rather ambiguous words as the Lahore Resolution of 1940. If you read the wording of the Lahore Resolution of 1940, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is that it is very ambiguously worded. The second thing that one must notice that the reference to the word states rather than state, because it doesn't talk about a Muslim majority state as being sort of the future of the Muslims of India. It talks about states, and it refers to the language that you can see in Sikandar's scheme. It refers to the words units, regions. If this is referring to a separate Muslim state, then why does it use the word states? And what does it mean to have autonomous and sovereign units within those states? taken together, it sort of doesn't exactly explain how that results in a Pakistan. The word states and the context in which sort of the word units has to be understood, and why those units should be autonomous, that all of that makes a lot more sense if you view it in the background of Sikandar's scheme. I think the relevance of the 23rd March is more retrospective than it was at the moment, at that time. Firstly, and secondly, that it came to be, whether it was intended to be or not, it came to be sort of interpreted as the moment where the Muslim League puts forth a coherent demand for a separate Muslim nation state. Whether it was precisely that or not remains to be answered.